This is TNA, the new face of professional wrestling.
Welcome to the Feast or Fired podcast. This is the November 13th, 2002 weekly pay-per-view number 21 for TNA. I am Brian here with my wife.
Hello.
And let's get into this clusterfuck of a show. Good thing our channel's not monetized. We'd be demonetized because I dropped an F-bomb in the first minute.
Oh my.
10 matches today. 10 matches today. That is ridiculous.
It is.
All right. Let's get into it, though. We get a slight update on the open contract with Mr. Wrestling 3. Apparently, Mr. Wrestling 3 has not contacted Mike Tenay, and that is all we get as far as the development on that tonight.
So sad.
Okay, Mortimer Plumtree and AJ Styles come down to the ring. Styles says that tonight the title match between Kid Cash and Jerry Lynn is not happening. Then he hands the mic off to Plumtree, who says that he is he talked about how he's intelligent, and he made sure that all AJ Styles title matches had a automatic rematch clause in the contract. So Jerry Lynn comes out and basically says he's anticipated some sort of bullshit and whining like this. So he already talked to management, and they have made it now a three-way dance tonight. So instead of Cash versus Lynn, we get Cash versus Lynn versus Styles.
Which annoys
and then
the
he wishes,
hell.
Yeah, I know. And then he wishes Styles luck because opening his mouth. Now both him and Cash want to kick Styles' ass.
Can you talk, hon?
Stick Kyle's ass.
Stick Kyle's ass. Okay.
All right. Match number 1. What?
What?
I get encoding overloaded, and I'm just I don't know how that's possible. There's no video or anything.
That's weird. We still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay.
That only usually happens if shit's over fucking clocked or over being overused. Nothing's being. Why is my GPU being used so much? That's so weird.
I don't even know what that is, so yeah.
Being used for video encoding, which is fine. Just using 71% for it? Okay. Moving on.
Moving right along. Sorry.
No. Get our first match of the night. Tony Mamaluke versus Easy Money. So we're having Easy Money debut tonight. This is the first time I noticed that Mamaluke was mixing his Italianisms into the match. You know, doing the thing with his hands under his chin. That. This match starts off pretty exciting. Massive inverted monkey flip maneuver from Easy Money on a Mamaluke. Also, Mamaluke almost turning way too much and landing on his knees. It was crazy. There's also a huge dive from Mamaluke from the corner to the outside, and Money catches him with a huge drop kick. This is to the outside. So that's pretty awesome. This is just a good showing from these two. A good way to debut. The ending comes after a short series of reversals. Money hits a move called the Cha-Ching to win. I described it as lifting someone into a suplex and letting them go halfway up the lift to flip them over and drop them on their back. It's a weird move. I don't know if it's really ideal for a finisher. You know.
I mean, I don't, but because I don't know any of the moves names.
As I said, that's just not necessarily ideal for. All right. Move on straight to match number 2. I just have it listed as Sonny Siaki versus local talent because it's a squash match.
Yeah, my favorite one was my nickname for this dude outside of Egomaniac, of course, now, against his opponent was some rando who I will give a nickname to if he becomes more prominent or shows up again. That was my nickname for him. Since I have a nickname for almost everybody. And that's only because I don't pay attention enough sometimes. And he calls me out on it consistently. He's like, "Are you paying attention?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am." Playing on my phone for the past 5 minutes before that, but whatever.
Yeah.
And he knows I'm lying. Okay.
Anyways,
I'm like, I could.
Siaki wins the Siacalypse after his showing. We get some matches or some moves we're not used to seeing. It was just Siaki showing us some new stuff, and it's just one of the feeling like they just wanted to have him on the show. I didn't know what else to do with him. I don't know. Go to the back. Goldilocks is with Lawler. He was going on about how his relationship with April is doing really well, and then we hear some moaning. And he busts into the showers to find April in their nude. Thankfully, they're blurring out and stuff. But she is not actually in the shower part. And her freaking out does finally manage to get Brian to leave because, he came in with the camera and all that. But out from behind, we see what looked to be Bruce peeking out of the shower for a moment.
I guess he's not fully, rainbow shorts.
Would not be the first time it would not be the first time in wrestling history I have seen a gay gimmick turn out to be just a front, and it's not actually true. They did that with Billy and Chuck in WWE.
I don't know who either of those are, so.
You'll meet Billy Gunn later. He'll be called Kip James, though. I don't think we ever see Chuck Palumbo in TNA. All right. It was just weird. Father Mitchell comes to the stage. He brings up there's been a discussion about the merits of sports entertainment versus traditional wrestling, but points out that the new church isn't either. They're just evil.
Yes. Sorry.
And this is all to bring out they say they have a new member. Her name is Belladonna. She is just a woman without a women's division. I don't know what she's supposed to do other than provide more distraction. Also, Malice is back. Finally. Which leads into match number 3 of 10.
Oh, yeah, there are 10 matches.
I've said this already, but...
Did you? I missed that.
Malice versus Chaos, because I actually noticed that, but I also have in parentheses local talent, because I don't expect to see him again. Another squash match.
You also thought his name was Cross.
Yeah, at first. Beats up the guy outside the ring, uses the chair, the usual, breaks him in, pins him. The only thing I have to note is that Chaos looks kind of like a knockoff of Rick Steiner, who wishes he was as cool as Scott Steiner. So I guess a cross between the two. It was weird. He wins with a top rope knee drop too. I don't know. Match number 4: Estrada versus Brian Lawler. Lawler has new music. It still sucks, but it's better than what he had before. Then Lawler gets on the announcer's desk with a mic. He's asking why everyone's laughing at him, and he was asking if there was something on the video that he missed. But April's swearing to him that there was nothing, and he trusts her, so he gets down and doesn't pursue that anymore. We get a match. I don't know what to say about this match because Estrada's fine, but Lawler sucks. I don't want to say he sucks, but it's just weird. I always find Lawler's parts of matches kind of boring, at least in his singles matches. Also, he's mostly just distracted by April. We have a spot where he gets April. It's right at the beginning of the match. Gets a spot where he gets April to come up under the ring apron and come kiss, and Estrada actually grabs them both by the hair and then knocks their heads together, which is funny. It's just weird to see Estrada doing that to a woman. Estrada has Lawler up paced through most of this match, seeming too quick for most of Lawler's usual strategies. Eventually, Lawler tries to use April's purse, which she brought out for the first time this week, and misses. Then Estrada puts it around Lawler's neck, and then uses a back neck leg drop to use the purse against Lawler. And then eventually the finish comes. That's one of the only major things, instances of note through the entire match. It was just kind of mediocre otherwise. The finish comes when April grabs Estrada's leg. He turns and grabs her by the hair again, until Priscilla comes around to slap April, but this distraction is just enough to give Lawler a chance to hit a low blow and a roll up to get the win.
Which is sad.
I assume that there's going to be more to this, I just don't know what. Get Goldilocks with Jarrett. He says he's been screwed, and everyone has had a title shot except for himself. Now he's working his way to get one. And he also tells us that apparently Six Pac is out of action again. Don't know why. But because of this, Jarrett gets a bye, and he only has BG James in his way. Title match. Which, at this time, we assume is next week.
Yeah.
The match with James. Match number 5. Jimmy Yang versus Amazing Red. This is a really good match. This is my favorite match of the night, actually.
Was it?
Yes. They make it clear that Yang is not a flying Elvis anymore. I was duped at first because he uses the same music Monty Brown's been using, which eventually becomes the Abyss music. Which is just weird.
He was so excited. He's like, Monty Brown? And then we say Jimmy Yang, and he's like, oh.
I mean, that's not a bad alternative. It just got my hopes up.
He was so excited, and I felt so bad.
All I have written is this is just a crazy, amazing X Division match. I don't want to keep saying this move was cool, this move was cool. Because a lot of the match I was going, oh, that's awesome. It's a long match considering all the matches tonight. It's a longer match.
It is.
It's consistently entertaining, consistently impressive, and as I also wrote down at this time that this was possibly my favorite match of the night so far, but it ended up being my favorite match together. Anyways, Red tries to do a top rope crossbody, but Yang catches it with a knee. Yang, on the return, tries to go for the Yang time, but he misses that, and then Amazing Red hits the infrared to get the win. Great match. I guess it sucks that Yang lost.
Yeah,
but it was
sad.
really good showing from both guys, and
I was sad about that.
Goldie with BG James. He ups the match pretty well, but he's a good talker, and that's about it. Jarrett walks it in, wishes him luck, tries offer him a handshake. James is skeptical, suggests that Jarrett's trying to pull something. Jarrett talks up James a bit more and just says, I just really want to wish you luck and all that. Finally gets him to shake his hand, and then we get the cheap shot, and finally Jarrett gets pulled off James. Because who wasn't expecting that?
Obviously, James.
He was, and then still fell for it. We'll get more on about that later. SATs versus Rainbow Express. I don't know what to say about this match. It was fine, I guess. No one in this match is bad. We did learn. I will say I did learn one thing about this match. Apparently, the ref will not count a pin if Bruce is mounting Lenny while Lenny pins the opponent. I guess he's worried about the leverage. I don't know. You know what I mean?
No, not really.
No, Lenny had him pinned, but he was on his hands. He was on his hands and knees, and Bruce got down behind him like they were doing a dog style.
Oh yeah, that thing.
And the ref was making Bruce get out of the ring before he'd count the pin. I say because of how everything's been moving at such a quick pace tonight, this match feels really slow, but that's not their fault. It's just the way the night was booked. Both teams are fine. It just feels weird considering everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It also doesn't help that I noticed the crowd was extremely quiet for this.
Which is a great reprieve from last week's.
I guess it's just the crowd didn't make much noise until they got rowdy again when they did that. One spot. Second.
He says that one spot.
I know. They got rowdy again. They got rowdy again when they got that one spot where they got them like in the 69 position. He was slamming Bruce's face into Lenny's. But like that was about it. The finish comes for when Lenny, for some reason, pulls down the top rope that caused Bruce to come tumbling out because he was running at the ropes. Because of that, though, the SCTs are able to hit the Spanish Fly on Lenny, and then they win. I guess they're trying to set up that Lenny is trying to sabotage Bruce to take the TNA thing. I don't know. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
I don't know.
Okay, Goldilocks with Bob Armstrong explains Don Harris was fired from security but could still wrestle. That was basically all that was about. Then we go to match 7, which is the Hot Shots versus the Harris twins. I noted that the Hot Shots actually hold their own pretty well at the beginning instead of the Harris twins being like dominant monsters like they kind of had been, or at least Drawn had been shown to be over the past few weeks. So I found that surprising, but fine, since the Hot Shots aren't supposed to be just a jobber team, they're supposed to be a legitimate tag team. So, Hot Shots actually have control for the beginning, but they do eventually start getting overwhelmed. I don't know what was with Cassie O'Reilly in this match. I noticed that he was like missing or coming up short on moves. It was weird. Eventually, the Harris twins hit the H-bomb for the win, and then continue to beat up the Hot Shots after the match. All right, BG James comes to the ring. Says, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 500 times, I guess I'm just an idiot.
I didn't want to tell him he was.
And then he calls out Jarrett, basically saying, I want to have our match now. Jarrett comes out, says it's not happening, we both got the night off, just enjoy it. Then, James, trying to rile him up, calls Jarrett a pussy, says he knows Jarrett's dad. His daddy's a pussy. He says he's known Jarrett for 10 years. All 10 of those years, he's been a pussy. And he was going to bring up his mom, but at that point that Jarrett rushes the ring and they start brawling. Bob Armstrong comes out and a ref comes out, and they say apparently this is now this is the match for the #1 contender spot. So, match 8, BG James versus Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, you didn't know?
This is mostly just crowd brawling.
It is.
Almost the entire match, which is probably the best outcome way they could have done this match that we could have asked for. James sucks in the ring.
I mean,
we get a bunch of trash cans, chairs being thrown around on the stairs. Eventually, James gets knocked off a balcony through a table. Jarrett gets in the ring and makes the ref start to count. James manages to get back to the ring with a 9 count, mostly because the ref was being very generous. But even then, Jarrett was trying to stop him. Excuse you.
Sorry, I am so sorry that was so loud.
Jarrett attempted to stop him, but failed. James gets a little bit of a comeback, goes for the pump handles slam, but Jarrett manages to get out of that, returns with a stroke on a chair for the win, and is now the #1 contender, challenging Ron Killings for the World Championship next week, apparently.
Yay, he finally gets a shot.
Match 9. Tag titles are on the line with the New Church versus America's Most Wanted. Instead of rushing down from the ramp, AMW actually this time rushes out of the crowd to attack the other two. This match is chaotic as all hell and way overbooked. And I think part of it is because they try to fit too much into. So I think this match could have worked a lot better with a lot more time, a lot better build. And I will say, I think this match is probably like the #1 example I can think of how the weekly show with a monthly pay-per-view format feels a little bit more grand. It feels like it has more grandeur to it than like a weekly show like this does.
Yeah.
Because I feel like 4 weeks of build and then a pay-per-view match, and then let's say we had 2 title matches between these two and with the same outcomes. We would have been done over a 2-month period, and I think the build up would have felt much better, and this match and this finish would feel a lot more impactful. Plus, we know with a monthly pay-per-view, we usually get like at least 3 hours of a monthly pay-per-view. So, we'd have a lot more time for this match as well, and we wouldn't have all this other bullshit happening because it's not up, it's just the weekly show. But there's a lot of brawling around the ring. Harris gets slashed up to the stage and using a chair, slamming his face into it and getting slashed to bleed again. Lee uses the belts on Storm, breaks Storm open. Harris gets in the ring. He hits the Canatonic on Lee, tries to do it on Slash, but fails. He's thrown out. He gets busted open. We get a bunch of distractions from Mitchell's and Belladonna. Belladonna eventually gives a Slash the belt to nail Storm with it, but Storm manages to kick out at that time. Then there's a ref bump, and like an accidental ref bump. We get a double team finisher, but the ref's out, and AMW can't win. Eventually, Brian Lee uses the spike that Mitchell's brings to the ring on one of them. I don't even remember who it was.
I think Country Singer.
Doesn't matter. But he uses the spike as Mitchell revives the referee. New Church pin them and win, and now handing the first loss to America's Most Wanted, and now they've also lost the belts. And the Disciples of the New Church, Brian Lee and Slash, are the NWA Tag Team Champions.
Yay, I guess.
As I said, this would feel more impactful if we had better build over like 2 months.
Yeah.
With the shows and then one pay-per-view where it was like last week's match. But over like 2 weeks, it doesn't feel that impactful to me. It's just weird. I think it's just something that we're going to have to get used to right now with how things are working. But, yeah. It's just unfortunate. I feel that way. I wish I didn't, but it's how we are.
He's a perfectionist.
It just makes me want to get to, and it makes me want to get to the impacts and the monthly pay-per-views all that much more. I'm not saying that what we have right now is bad. It's what they had. I just really would like to get to the pay-per-views because I like that format better.
Oh, that's what, 2 years from now? 3 years?
It starts in 2004 or 5. I don't remember. So we got a while. It's just looking forward to it already. Anyways, moving on. Match number 10 is the Triple Threat X Division Championship match between Jerry Lynn, Kid Cash, and AJ Styles. Really good match. Not my favorite match of the night, but really good match. All three guys just giving us great nonstop action in this, doing all their high flying shit. The beginning was a little funny because Cash and Lynn throw Styles out of the ring because they're like, "Fuck you." We didn't want you in this match anyways. They have a little bit of back and forth between those two, and Styles tries to get back in again, and they just do a drop toe hold, and he just rolls the goddamn boulder out of the ring. I don't know how to describe it, just like front rolling, like he tucked his legs and just kept on rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does eventually get back in it though, and it just like becomes a really good X Division match. I would say I think what took away from this match and what didn't make it nowhere near as good as the Yang one, Yang and Red, is they were doing so many replays in this match that it was distracting from. Will you fucking stop?
I'm sorry. There we go.
Mute yourself and blow your nose.
Sorry.
Better now?
Yeah, I'm better now.
Okay.
I forgot that there were tissues down here.
So
I'm like,
I said the amount of issues in the match are the amount of replays they're using in this match are insane. They should just forget about doing replays and hold it for a video package at the end of the match. Which again, something they kind of do in pay-per-views. So again, making me long for monthly pay-per-views. Eventually, Plumtree does attempt to get involved, but because of this, him and Styles knock each other out, which leaves Lynn to hit the package pile driver on Cash and get the win and retain the belt. Good finish to that. Then we get Jeff Jarrett comes out in the last couple minutes to address Ron directly. He takes note that Ron is the first NWA World Heavyweight Champion who is also black. He also says that, he's been held back from being given a shot for 21 weeks, and it's now his time. He's going to become the world champion, and it's been his dream for a long time to be the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And that's basically the end of the show. But it was a good ending because, the big thing next week is the world title match. So hopefully get a really good world title match. I think Ron and Jarrett can do one, but we'll see how it turns out. Anyways, have any thoughts about this show that you want to add before we go into whether it was a feast or a fired?
No, not that I can think.
Okay. Well, how about you go ahead and go first?
See, I'm so on the board about it because, well, Oodles and Noodles won, which I love. Estrada lost, though. And so did Jimmy
You can't
Yang.
win everyone.
No, they cannot. But and this one was
even undefeated streaks come to an end. Saw today.
Yeah, with Kitty and Country Singer. I'm really on the fence with this because it actually did live up to its name of TNA. It was 10 matches.
Yes, it was total non-stop action, but I would also argue that it was almost too much.
Yeah. Too bad I can't do both because you told me I'm not allowed to do that. I've tried it.
You want to abstain? I guess you could abstain from saying feast or fired, but
then why do this? There's no point then.
I think you would start abstaining way too often. So
definitely.
I'm forcing you. You got to give me a feast or a fired.
Do you hear this, people? He is so mean to me.
Fine. If you cannot decide, I'm giving it a feast, despite it being way overbooked and too much in this one particular show. The parts that were good were really good, and the parts that were bad were just mediocre.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to give this a feast because Oodles and Noodles won.
Okay. It's a double feast this week, then. I'm fine with that.
Now, I'm not going to always give it a feast if Oodles and Noodles wins, depending on who else loses. Because who knows? Oodles and Noodles might not be my favorite anymore. Bum, bum, bum.
Anyways, anything else to add, sweetheart, before we go?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. Hopefully, whatever my issue with the encoding is, I'll have it fixed. I hope it didn't interrupt our talking with our static screen. But anyways, take care, and we'll see you all next week. Have a great day. Keep on wrestling.
Have a good night.